Hello, mech fans. This is Duncan Fisher. Hold on firmly to your mana potions, fireballs, and familiars, because you are tuning in to your regularly scheduled episode of the First Circuit Podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 161 of the First Circuit Podcast. Tonight's episode has free things, stocking stuffers and loot bags, snow day sales and bundles of joy, new player packs, rival packs with events, a December patch, and Russian servers and clients. Tonight's host is Ian.
Hello.
Fighter.
Blarg.
With a new avatar, and myself, Old Bob 10025. All coming up next.
I mean, guys, I gotta say, having like 3 people on camera, it's so nice.
Well, he's a cartoon. Fighter's a cartoon,
nah,
right?
he's photorealistic.
Photorealistic. So that's what you look like. I never knew what you look like, man.
Yeah. Even if you use the real webcam, I would be a cartoon.
Nice sketches, by the way, too. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's brilliant for some reason.
I know. Was it? It was Flying Debris, right? That had those sketches.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you're listening on Spotify and whatever, go and check out the YouTube video to see some sketches from the very talented flying debris, just on the fly to Rubber McFox. That was awesome.
That was cool, actually.
And you know what's even more awesome?
Free stuff.
Free stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're in sync by that.
Weird.
Nice. Okay, first up, the bad news. I'm sorry, guys. All of you, if you haven't redeemed it, have already missed a free executioner. As part of the competitive series, we'll talk about that in just a second. We're able to redeem a free mech. What you can still redeem up until very early January, the last 7 days of premium time with the code Happy Holidays 2021. You should have received an email. If you didn't, you can check Ross's Twitter for the code or Reddit. It's posted kind of everywhere. And very important, make sure you take some time between December 26th and January 3rd to play at least one game. 50 matches go to get free, 2 free mechs, some stocking suffers, 7 days of premium time again, 6.5 million C-Bits, and 1250 MC.
That means they have to go read Solid McWarrior.
That's what they get you.
I know.
Three things. Who would have guessed that? That's good marketing. What do you guys think about the mech choice this time? The Marauder 2P and the Marauder 2CA?
Oh, always good choices.
That's common mechs. You don't usually see them so often around. I do kind of like that Mauler. It has a UAC jam chance. And I spent a while mastering it, but now there's going to be a Siebel boosted one, so I have to do that all over again. But it's fine. And Marauder 2C, it's got 3 ballistics, so it's one of the better ballistic marauders, I think. Though it's just Marauder 2C, you're usually taking it for the energy boating.
Yeah, to be fair,
both are
I've
fine.
seen the Marauder 2CA is the one I've seen most in the past few days when I've been playing post-patch. So it's probably not a bad choice. And yeah, I do really like the Mauler. I can't play it. I'm just not good with assaults, but I really like the Mauler in other games.
Yeah, plus it's free. I mean, hell. Get it?
Yeah.
Go play it.
Yeah, free stuff's always awesome.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and you get all that, 2 whole assault mechs for just playing a single match. It's a pretty good deal. I think what the holiday bonus, that's always nice to get premium time. And lastly, the executioner thing. What's the little story about that? Because I totally missed it. I did not see it on their webpage or anything.
Well, I got
sure,
like I was gonna say, like I got a DM from a friend of mine saying, "Hey, do this code." It's like I wasn't paying attention. I'm like, okay, cool. Like
Yes.
did the code and like, okay, cool, kick it.
Yeah, that's kind of the true story. Like I got it from Lash's Discord. Someone posted there, "Hey, hurry up, free mech, go get it." But you were intended to only get the code if you were watching the MechWarrior Online Competitive Championship Series Grand Final of the year 2021. I'll be honest, I didn't watch it. I'm not following the competitive scene, but they did have their finals.
Yeah.
I've heard some talk about it on Twitter and saw some Reddit posts, so it was probably an exciting event. I don't know, these streams are usually pretty good. But yeah, during the stream, they dropped the code to get a free Executioner A, I believe, which was redeemable for like 24 hours. So yeah,
If you got it,
cool
cool.
thing. I got it.
Yeah, I got it too for both my accounts. I'm like, cool. So this year I got 3 free mechs. That's kind of cool. Although it is a clan mech, so I don't know.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
did you get any of the bonus mix from what was it, the loyalty rewards?
Yeah, I think I got
Oh,
the
yes.
K9 or something. I forgot what I got actually.
If you bought like any MC
No,
over the year,
no,
you
I
would
didn't.
get this fancy the ECM Irby.
Yeah, the Irby, yeah, the Irby thing.
Yeah. So for me, I got I got everything but the Viper. I did actually spend some money for the Irby, as I said last episode.
Yes, I also only missed out on the Viper. Uh, so yeah, I got the EC. I did also buy the Irby for just a little bit of MC, and yeah, I think I got like the striker pack, so I got the Atlas.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I just got the standard thing because I didn't purchase anything the last year.
Yeah, I specifically bought MC for the Irby. As same as Spider, we got the striker pack for free from Darren a couple months ago. That's how we got the Atlas, I think.
Oh, then I would
And
have got the
then,
Atlas too. So yeah, I don't know.
and
Yeah,
then we didn't. I don't think any of us got the Viper because that was the one you had to buy. The
you have to buy like a
which
clan pack.
yeah, one of the older packs.
One of all the packs.
One of the older packs, or I believe one of the dropship bundles also
Oh,
got you
okay,
that.
Yeah, I think that was it.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Well, the usual dropship bundles are really good though. They do
Yeah.
great jobs on those.
It's just the issue of us really having all those mechs, so it's not really all that interesting.
Yeah, I know.
Which, yeah, it's kind of sad. I was really tempted to just pick up a dropship bundle to get the Viper, because again, the Viper out of the 3 mechs is the one I was most excited about. But yeah, I'll be waiting until we get it for Seabills eventually. Irby, I played it a bit. Not my jam. I prefer the Ballistic Irby. What do you guys think about them?
I like the K9. That's my favorite one.
It does the same as the K9 with 5 energy hardpoints, and you have the
Oh,
ECM with
ECM
the
too. Yeah,
ECM
yeah, that's
quirk.
right.
Yeah. The thing is, though, you always have to skill it up first, so
But
that the ECM gets doubly strong.
but the K9 has a little woo woo woo,
Yeah, you
thing
have a
out
micro
of
for
it.
my
So
K9.
that's what makes it better. I don't care about like easy.
Yeah.
I want to go woo
Yeah.
woo woo. What I want to do.
If I'm obnoxious enough, people are just gonna run away from me and I can shoot in their back.
There you go.
That's
Okay.
logic, right?
Oh God.
One mech I did quite enjoy though was the Atlas with jump jets. I put a very standard SRM AC-20 and a couple lasers built on it, and it's still an Atlas, and the Atlas is not a particularly good mech in MechWarrior Online,
Mhm.
sadly. But
Yeah.
I enjoyed the jump jets. I'm gonna say having an Atlas with jump jets is amazing. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Jumping ahead a little bit, an issue it had was when you jump jetted, the cockpit shaked a lot, and that's because they set how much the cockpit shakes according to the mech, but they never really expected the Atlas to jump, so it was just set automatically to the max value or something like that. And so
Yeah.
in the most recent patch, they have addressed that, so you aren't being thrown around whenever you fly in an Atlas.
Mm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't played Atlas since that patch then, but I was really surprised how far up you could get with those jump jets. So the changes to assault jump jets, like the first map I played it on was Canyon Network, and being able to jump from the bottom of the canyon to the very top, like the top level up in one go with no trouble and having some juice left over to spare, that was really cool experience. I like the
Yeah.
mobility a lot.
I found like 70% of my matches were on Canyon Network, so anything that works well on that map is, yeah, is a good fit.
Yeah, and I think it's an even better fit for a certain other map that we're gonna talk about in a couple minutes, so stay tuned.
Yes.
I'm good with transitions. But yeah, final standings for the championship series, which was what we were talking about a second ago. The first Jaguar Guards won, the fifth Jaguar Dragoons got second place, and Ghost of Nox got third place. So just for those of you who were interested,
Was
you
it
can see all
last?
the standings on the.
Sorry, I was going to ask you. Was it last year that they had to use stock mechs for the inner sphere, or the year before?
That was 2 years ago.
It was a
2
while
years,
ago.
2 years
That
ago.
was a while ago.
That's when I actually watched it. I thought that was really good because actually
Yeah.
it involved skill instead of actually like using meta
Yeah.
mechs. I thought that was really cool.
Well,
No,
I'm gonna disagree on that. If you're
Well,
playing with stock mechs, you have even stronger meta because certain stock mechs are
well,
just
yeah,
objectively
but
better than others.
mm,
hmm
mm,
Yep.
we'll
It was
disagree on
it
that
was
one.
it was interesting enough just seeing the first time around
Yeah.
what mechs people like they found out, but no, you have to. I think there's certain mechs, like sort of like the Black Knight or something, that would have a pretty good energy boat loadout.
Hmm.
Or there would be, hey, we're on Caustic Valley, so let's just take a whole bunch of LRM and rain them to death because stock mechs are really slow and easy to learn to death if you have a proper spotter.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm gonna say I'm down to seeing another one of those
I am too actually.
series. I, as Spider said, I think it would get boring really fast if you have 2 or 3 in a row. But like having one sprinkled in every now and then, like every 2 years, doing one of the series with stock mechs, that'd be fun.
I mean,
I
that's the
don't
last
know
time I
though.
watched it.
Again, we're not that in tune with the competitive community if people would watch it. But it's just me personally. I would like it.
The weird thing, an anachronism in my head is just that MWO isn't the best to actually view competitively. Um, you you have a much better time with most other games where everyone just has a single health bar. But in MWO, the mechanics are so complicated and the maps are so large, it's very hard to keep track of
Yep.
exactly what's going on and who is damaged where. So you're seeing the wide view of the battlefield and only sort of one mech status, and you don't even see the heat bar or anything like that. There's no replay features. There's nothing like that. So
That is
viewing
true.
experience, it's kind of interesting seeing stock mechs walk around, but honestly, it's just a sky view of mechs shooting lasers at one another compared to where you use proper comp mechs where you have mechs shooting lasers or well PPCs or whatever happens to be meta at the time there. So I think primarily comp is much more for the people playing it. And to that end, at least it's much more fun having a dynamic meta that's changing with all the patches and
Yeah.
everything. Whereas stock mechs, that's not changing at all. It's the same every year.
Well, we did get major quirk changes, and that would be
Yeah,
for me a
true.
reason to take another look at that and see if that changes the stock meta. But yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. So I'm gonna say MechWarrior Online competitive is still much easier to watch than Valorant competitive. Like I don't understand how people can follow that game when everything happens within half a second,
What game?
and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
all of a sudden
The
everyone's dead and one team has won. Okay.
What
yeah.
game you talking
No, I
about?
think the matches are quite quick on Valorant.
Oh, Valorant.
It's a
Okay.
first-person shooter that's
Okay.
playing really fast. But yeah.
It's like
Okay.
Counter-Strike, but Overwatched a bit.
Probably
Yeah.
I don't know about it.
All right. Let's
Okay,
move on.
let's move on there.
And yeah, positive notes and Christmas notes. There were also a couple of events that we haven't covered that have happened in the past. Sorry we missed them, but as you guys know, we're not covering most events that in depth anyway. Upcoming events and events that are still gonna be ongoing are of course the yearly Christmas stocking stuffers loot bag events.
Oh,
Just gonna quickly.
they got the tiers. Oh, phases.
It has phases. It does.
Okay.
Yep. It's your usual loot bag event. I'm always a fan of the phases thing, but at least of course it's phase 2 is always shorter and easier to do. But uh yeah, with this one, I think they're not giving away a free mech or anything like that. I mean, they give away so many free mechs with the monthly things.
Yeah.
Um, Instead, the grand prize is 1,000 MC on top of like a whole bunch of GSP and mech bays and stuff. It gives some good
Yep.
stuff this loot bag event, and I think the holiday bonus, if you do that one match near the end of the year, you'll get 25 bonus redeems.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Okay.
So yeah, I like this year's event a lot. Again, no mech at the end is sorta like, it's sort of two-bladed thing. Like on the one hand, it's nice that you don't have to grind all the way because there's this one thing at the very end that you want. I much prefer the way they've done it this year, where you can get multiple steps of things.
Mhm.
And even if you have to stop playing after like 270 loot packs, you're not gonna be that sad that you missed the last step on it. On the other hand, free mechs are nice, but yeah, as Spider said, we're getting enough free mechs that I think this event is probably a really good way to go. I like the multiple steps.
I mean,
I personally find like the 1K MC more valuable, just in the sense I often just sell the mech or I already own it. Is
Yeah.
usually the thing with the free mechs,
Yeah,
and MC can be saved up to be, I can buy heroes and mech bays in the future.
that's true. And I mean, on half of 1K MC gets you most mechs.
1K,
Besides,
probably
Lights.
lights. Oh,
on
a lot of
sale, I
lights.
think you can get most lights, mediums, and a couple of heavies.
No,
Roughly
no.
50% off.
Mm-mm.
It's mostly
Not even that.
you're starting to get into lights, but like if you think of an Atlas Boar's head, that's 4K MC I think normally, and it's 2K on discount. So the range is something like it is like 500 to 2000 MC is what the
Okay.
ballpark is in my head.
Yeah. To be fair, you're getting more MC from the free holiday mechs, so in combination with this and all the other events, it's really not hard to get a mech out of this.
I always say
Well,
like the one
the
thing I
stocking
love.
stuffers themselves give MC. So if you opened 300 bags, you probably earned, I don't know, 500 MC as well.
Oh yeah. One thing I always did like about MechWarrior is always give away free stuff. I mean, literally, they pretty much it's like a kid in a candy store. They're like, "Here, take some candy," and they always do this kind of stuff. And they always do like loot bags, always do events. You get GSP, a whole bunch of crap, and I mean, it's nice, and it's a good thing they do this. It's a very good thing.
Yep, very much. I like the GSP out of the loot bags, and yeah, I just opened 20 bags on the that I played on my main account, and that's about not 100 MC or so. So
Yeah,
you get a lot of stuff if you have time to play throughout the holidays. This is definitely the time to do it.
definitely. Okay.
Right. Quick look at the actual events in the two phases. First phase, you can get some cockpit items to get really into that Christmas spirit in that one mech that you placed them before you forget which mech has them.
Yeah,
And then in the
Darren.
second phase, which is gonna start, what's that? Shortly before Christmas.
Sorry. That pisses me off completely. Completely pisses me off. And also the freaking UAV crap. Thank God they fixed that. But the fighting your crap in your mech is almost impossible. I'm. God damn it. It blows a gasket. Dude, it blows a gasket in my mind, man. It's like, why? Anyways, go on. Oh, God. Sorry, go on.
Anyway, second phase, a couple more cockpit items, which is gonna start around Christmas. So after Christmas, let's say like 25th, 26th, whatever, when the free holiday stuff is. If you play on those days, you're gonna get most of the things at once done. So yeah, cool things, free stuff.
Free
I
stuff.
like it.
Free stuff you can't find in your Mac. Go ahead. Okay. Okay. We got snow day sales and bundles of joy, correct? For the next one?
Yay.
Okay.
Alright, Snow Day sale, just regular sale throughout the holidays. This one is gonna end on December the 26th, so if you wanna pick something up, do so before Christmas. Engines, weapons, patterns, and select variants are 50% off.
Yeah, these are actually good sales, man. They got one dozen, 13 mech bays for $6. That is a good price to go ahead and get some mech bays in case you're wanting some mech bays. I mean, the Nutcracker, the ho holiday customization pack. I mean, all the stuff is really good things to go ahead and have. Jesus, yeah, really good things. Yeah, the light pack with the and which mech is that one?
Well, because they've added new player packs for clan.
Oh
So
yeah.
Hero, Kid
Yeah,
Fox,
that's the
Huntsman,
next point.
etc.
So
Yeah.
yeah, real quick before we move on, bundles of joy. Any particular recommendations? Last time we recommended the dozen mech bay sale as one of the best options.
Yes.
How are you sticking
by
with that?
far just giving you the valuable stuff. Um, I'm
I
wondering,
suppose
yeah, because
unless you
the
really
ho
want
ho
customization.
holiday, the customization for me, it's sort of the colors. Just in a ways, colors can be a bit expensive, and I wonder, the MC conversion ratio to colors, whether you're spending $5 to get 3 colors in the first place, and all the others like the decals and cockpit items are just bonus.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, colors themselves are pretty expensive, like anyways. So I mean, for $5, you get three. You get two like decals to corgis, and then a bunch of cockpit items you can't find. So that's pretty good though.
I always find it difficult though whether I don't know if I even own those colors in the first place or how they'll look. It's really hard
Yes.
to tell.
Yeah, yeah, you're right now.
Yeah. For me, it's kind of, I'm at the point where I'm like, I have like 25% of the colors, and I know I have all the colors I want, so I don't have to care
Yeah.
about that anymore.
Yeah, same. So
That's a
I
really
think,
good point to say that.
yeah, I think for the most part, for the broad audience, I would just talk about the mech bays, and if you really want the stuff like the bundles that include premium time MC and GSP, just because those just speed up the grind basically.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. So the doesn't mech base is basically if you want to progress in the game at all, because you need mech base to start your mech collection, and the other ones are speed boost, XP boost.
Yeah. So with the way they do events nowadays, you do earn a lot of MC and mech bays
Hmm.
anyway, along with all the free mechs they give, and those can be sold and turned into mechs you want if you really want. But so you're not hurting so much for mech bays as you were in the past with how they run their economy nowadays.
Yeah. So again, if you want to support the game, this is one of the things where you can get pretty good value for your money. And yeah, good value for money. New player packs for the clan side of things. What do you guys think? Is that good value here?
That was the price of the Kit Fox, like anyways, a long time ago, right? I
Yeah.
mean, like normally though, like I think it was like either $9 or $14 for the Kit Fox when it first came out. This, I mean, you get 3,000 MC, 6.5 like million C bills, 3 days premium time, medallion, a whole bunch of crap into it. So, I mean, that's a really good price.
I think the important thing to keep in mind here is for these new player packs, you're only getting a single mech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you're also getting MC C builds to buy a couple more mechs. So I think it is a good starting point.
And
Personally, I would recommend the medium pack just because mediums are the all-rounders MechWarrior Online.
yeah, plus they're hero mechs, so you get some extra bonuses that way too.
Yeah. I feel like of the selection, was it just the heavy and assault are sort of just the ones that I feel like will you can't go too wrong with a Hellbringer usually. It can be quite squishy, but they have that survivability has been improved. So just ETM laser vomit clan, that's almost always going to have some place in the meta. And the Mad Cat Mark II, energy plus DACA. That's always, you can do 2 Gauss rifles and a bunch of lasers. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So,
Yeah.
but you are paying more for those mechs. I just, in terms of
Yes.
how much you'll actually use them. Like, I like I've had a fair number of people like using mechs like the Hellbringer just because, ECM laser vomit. And, well, the hero version is just, you can always do that and switch in all the Omnipods. That's,
Yeah,
great value.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Personally, I wouldn't recommend the assault pack. I don't think the Death Strike is that good of a mech in general, and I wouldn't call it beginner friendly. The other
Not
packs
beginner
are all
friendly, no.
pretty solid.
Yeah, the Death Strike has been strong, but of course it had all the agility nerfs and stuff, but that's been changed. But yeah, I haven't used the Death Strike in a while. I just, you know, when I have used it, it's still got a fairly potent Alpha Strike, and for me, I can focus like the CT, and 2 Gauss rifles plus a whole bunch of clan mediums is quite a good punch.
Yep. And of course, the ultimate pack get all the things for $60. Um,
Yeah.
but you're not getting all the extra stuff. You're only
Well,
getting one set of the free KMC,
yeah,
which
that's kind
is
of interesting.
interesting.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, well, but you're getting a price decrease, right?
Yeah, you're getting a major
Yeah,
discount compared to buying the individual packs.
The question is how you evaluate the individual packs. So like, um, depending on how you feel about things, like a very simple napkin math, you would say is like each Mac is worth $5. Like at least that's a reasonable valuation in my head, just for someone who's new to the game. In that case, you're spending $20 on the mechs, and all the remaining 40 is just on the bonuses, which isn't good. Whereas with the other packs, like the Kit Fox pack, $5 on the Kit Fox and then 10 for all the other stuff.
Yeah, interesting. It's also still interesting how MC is priced. I've always been saying MC is a bit overpriced. I would value it quite differently, but yeah, overall, more choice is always good. And if you're interested in one of these mechs, or if you know a friend, honestly, if you want to get a friend on the game, besides looking at which mechs are beginner friendly, a good way to look at is also which mechs are you good at and can help that person get good at with. So honestly, I think it's always a fine choice to just pick something that you personally enjoy and think that person can do well with your help.
Yeah. Yeah, very much sort of depends, of course, how you feel that your friend will, what tier they'll eventually sort of end up. Because in some ways,
Yes,
like I just
true.
feel for the peaking meta, you want the heavy and assault rather than sort of the huntsman or the kitfox. I have had fun poking with that mech, but it's only 4 energy hard points, and there's a lot of big boys on the field, so
Yeah.
I've not felt too comfortable in the kitfox energy boating in the last few years.
I've had fun that mech. It's been pretty cool, and the Hellbringer's been pretty fun too. The Mad Cat Mark II, it's a mixed bag for me because I don't play assaults. But when I did play this, it was mixed as far as like I did well and then I did horrible. You know, it just all depends.
Yeah, it's just things like that Death Strike. It's got jump jets. It can shield fairly well with its arms. It has, a good mix of hard points. It has a lot of things going for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's as always, it's your MWO. Like, even the light pack, you're spending $15, which is equivalent to like a whole DLC for another game. But if you look at it another way, if you were to buy just 3,000 MC, that costs $15 from the MC,
Yeah.
redeem page. So this is just buy 3,000 MC and get all the other stuff as an additional bonus. And in that case, that's a lot of free stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
True.
kind of.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's
kind
it's
of.
always difficult with these kind of packs because there are just so many mechs that rival each other. Get it? Because our next topic is gonna be the
Oh, you
rivals pack.
you cheesy. Yeah.
You, you're,
Okay.
you're on top of your game for your transitions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, the rivals pack. Yeah, we haven't had a recording episode for so long that this pack is actually out already, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's already out.
Yeah.
Like I think like what? It launched about the same day they announced it or something. Yeah, I didn't see where, I didn't keep track exactly. But
The
yeah,
Roughneck.
there's not this long several month wait for the pack to actually come out. As soon as I learned about the rival pack, I was like, oh hey, it's already out.
Yeah, kinda. To be fair, I haven't been super in the loop with MechWarrior Online news, mostly just following all the Twitter things. But
hmm
yeah, new pack, $20 gets you only 2 mechs this time and 2 mech base. So you're only getting the special variant of the 2 mechs and not the regular variant on top of it, which honestly I do prefer, especially since it means the event for those mechs is gonna be less clustered and you
Um,
don't have to. Yeah.
I'm mixed about that in just the sense that these are being sold as heroes before they were being sold as special variants. When you're selling special and C-bill, that means eventually everyone can play these mechs for C-bills. With these two
Hmm.
heroes, they're heroes. Heroes always stay available for MC or through the store. So you'll never be able to get this free to play unless you go the circuitous route.
Makes sense. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Are
So,
these the same ones? Oh,
which of these approaches do you prefer, by the heroes or special variants?
So it's all. I think there's a lot of this. Depends what perspective you take. From a business perspective, I have no idea how the mech packs have been doing. the previous ones where they, eventually come out for C-bills. Like how many people pick up the Grand Dragon when it became available for C-bills? Um, the argument for making them regular variants would be that this adds additional content to the game that everyone can play eventually, even if you aren't a paying player. Because even though we want people to buy the mech packs, there is still going to be a large number of people who are free to play or who are more hesitant about putting money into the game. But you still want them around, and therefore having the C-bill variants available is a nice option. Um, and in a ways, I do prefer sort of having more C-bill options. Just that if somebody turns up into the game, they don't see so many. Like if you fill up the store with premium mechs, that gives a bad impression. So I feel like there needs to be a good balance of C-bill. Like the majority should be C-bill, and there's only a few heroes. So this isn't going to end. It's not the end of the world that we've added a couple more heroes. But yeah, I think my feeling is that there should be a balance.
Yeah, I'm with you, and especially having multiple heroes per chassis is always something that has, I wouldn't say annoyed me, but made it a bit more difficult to browse the store. Like, yeah, both the Roughneck and Sunspider already had 2
Yes,
heroes?
2 heroes.
So this would be the 3rd for each chassis, which is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So like these
It's
aren't the
kind of
same
like
ones
our
after
skins in League of Legends.
so these aren't the same ones after 2018. The ones when they had
No, no.
no, okay, just making sure.
Yeah. A big question is, of course, which ones you do lock behind C-bill and which ones lock behind MC. So, like, um, the Sunspider here, for example, you already have, hardpoints. It's just ballistic arms already exist. So what you're getting this for is the 2 energy in each side torso. Um, the Sunspider before has not really been too great at energy boating. You could do sort of 2 in each arm and then 1 in each side torso, I think. Um, so a max of like 6 hard points, but now that's going up to 8. Um, your slots are limited, so it's kind of tricky taking enough heat sinks or whatever. I haven't done all the theory crafting, but the idea is just, hey, you can energy boat better with the Sunspider. There's not much space in the side torsos, so you can put lasers there and you can throw Dakar or missiles or what have you in the arms, which has always been sort of the build issues with the Sunspider. But as it is, it's not too much of a downside that it's blocked behind the MC. But I'm not, when it comes out later for the MC, in the store, I'm not buying the Sunspider ambush just to get energy side torsos. The energy side torsos would be so valuable for just all Sunspiders, or at least to help build diversity on Sunspiders. So it's a mixed bag. It's not amazing, that Sunspider, but it's also it would have been nice if that was a C-bill eventually. Because with all Omnimex, I just want to buy the C-bill Omnipods when they come out. With the Roughneck, I have mixed feelings as well a little about that, just in the sense 2 ballistics on each side torso. It's a 65-ton Black Widow, kind of. That's really like, you could do so many things with the ballistics and both side torsos. 2 LB20s, 3 LB10s, maybe. I haven't done all the theory crafting, but the 4 AC2s, 3 Rack 2s, etc., etc. The mounts on the Roughneck on the side torsos are nice and high, and that's going to be a pretty decent mech with the survival quirks the Roughnecks usually have, and they have given the quirks. This does have the Roughneck survival. If it were a C-bill variant, I think that would be kind of cool in the sense that you finally have an alternative to the Black Widow that isn't locked behind a paywall. But as it is, it's just if you want ballistic side torsos, you have to pay MC for either the Roughneck hero or the Warhammer hero.
Yeah, I don't mind it too much for the Roughneck in particular, because the Roughneck, as it looks on paper, seems like it just straight up one-on-one replacement to the Ballistic K2. Like the dual AC-20, the dual Gauss, all the things you could do with the K2, you can do with this mech, just better because higher mounts
Yep.
and better form. So I
Yeah.
don't mind it being locked away from some people.
Yeah, and
I
you
need a
also
reason for my
have
K2 to exist.
there's the other ballistic catapult that can do ballistic
The
side
new one,
torsos.
C2.
Yeah, yeah, C2 that has ballistic side torsos and jump jets. That just the value of jump jets, like jump sniping with 2 LB20, and it has LB20, LB20 LB cooldown. is I really like that mech for just having one ballistic on each side torso. But yeah, I'm fine with both of these being behind the hero paywall. That Roughneck as well, by the way, has missile arms and 3 energy, so you can sort of use missile and energy backup weapons if you really want. But the arms on the Roughneck are kind of wide and low, so yeah, this if you're getting this, you're getting it almost entirely for the ballistics, and
Yeah.
who knows, you might take 2 Rocket 10s and some small lasers, but yeah, it's for the Dakar.
Yeah, so overall, 2 new hero mechs for the price of $20 US. You also get, as usual, 30 days of premium time, 6.5 million C-bills to equip them the way you want, 200 skill points to immediately skill them up, and 3000 MC, just for the sake of it. No pre-orders this time.
Yep, no bolt-ons or whatever. I imagine the thing with the bolt-ons is that's a whole bunch of extra development time for some
Yep.
assets that you can't sell in the future, basically.
Yep.
So yeah, it's much better just to. I think they might have done a reassessment of the business model and said, hey, you know, putting all the extra time into bolt-ons isn't really paying out necessarily. And if we make them heroes, people might buy them for MC, which will get us more money in the long run. So,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
they might
business
be
side,
trying
it
to make
makes
it more
total sense.
economical. Yeah.
Yeah, but as for reasons we discussed earlier, I do hope they mix it up and keep doing special variants at least most of the time and do heroes only every now and then. But yeah, overall, I'd say this is a pretty good pack. If
Yeah.
I mean,
I
My feeling
didn't
is a little
already
bit
have
that
those.
my feeling is, yeah, I already have the Black Widow, and I already have the free Stunt Spider hero that they gave, for just playing at the end of the year. So I don't really need a Stunt Spider with Seabill boost. The energy hardpoints are nice, but I really love the one that they gave us. What was it, the Maul or whatever, the Vanguard or whatever?
The Vanguard,
Because that one has two. I went two Ultra 10s and an ERPPC, and that is quite a good poker with a good Alpha Strike.
yeah,
And
I
I
think
already
that's
have,
gonna be the downfall of this pack. We already have good Sun Spiders and good Roughnecks.
yeah, I've always thought I wanted to do good high mounts on the Roughneck. Like one of the Roughnecks I like playing is with the 2 high ballistic mounts, and that's its one unique feature. Um, that is now blown out of the water with the bolt on the field. Like, there's not really much point in the other Roughneck, which has 2 ballistic high mounts, which is kind of sad. But that's just always the issue with adding more variants to the game.
Yeah, power creep and such. I'm gonna say visually the Roughneck looks really cool though. So
Yes.
just for that reason, I am gonna pick it up for MC.
Yeah, or when it comes out eventually and stuff. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the lore because it's from it it
We don't
it
talk about that,
it
Bob.
requires
I think
lawnmowers and tree trimmers.
we've
But
moved past that.
but the Roughneck I've used, and it is a solid mech, a very solid mech. I've seen this thing take on a lance and it just blew him away. It's a good mech, man. It's just the lore we don't talk about of tree trimmers and lawnmowers. And, we don't talk about that. But it's a good mech though.
Yeah,
I just love using
it's
it.
a good way to add variety to the Roughneck. We already have the Energy Roughneck.
Yeah.
We already have ones with plenty of missile hard points, though they're all fairly high when
Yeah.
missiles are mounted on the Roughneck. So it was just ballistics that the Roughneck was always sort of. There was only one variant that had 2 mounts that were high, and that is a bit redundant. But yeah, now we have a proper ballistic Roughneck,
I mean,
and yeah, I like my Roughnecks.
seems like it has missiles pretty high as well too, with the 1 energy
Yes.
point. So like you put a tag on it and then go from there or something.
Well, yeah, there's a Roughneck like with 4 missile hard points, 2 in the side torso and 1 in each arm, but they all are quite high. They're around cockpit level. So
Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Roughneck has always been fine. It didn't need a missile variant, is what I'm saying. It didn't need an energy variant. The only extra area you could go was a ballistics variant, and that's what we got.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Moving on to the next topic. I mean, yeah, there's a bonus event. Quirks out already. They look fairly standard for each of these mechs compared to the remaining things. By the way, anything you want to add regarding quirks or event?
The event, I think, is just like most of the other MechPack events. There's no particular cockpit items you're getting with it, but you're just getting. It's like any other event, sort of. Just you're getting goodies, and yeah, the quirks are typical for this last era for MWO. It's just going to be survival quirks plus 10% here or there for cooldown and whatnot and stuff. It's fairly simple but bland. And both are fine mechs. They don't need crazy quirks anyway, for the most
Yeah.
part. They just need survival to help them engage. And both both have really good peaking profiles. So yeah, they don't need help from quirks really, other than obviously encourage set of 8. I think there's a good set of 8 bonus, and the Roughneck's energy and missile need some help. So yep, those are where it got quirks.
Okay.
Right then, speaking of things that were needed for the game, the December patch with Hellborn Outpost. Wait, Hellbore,
Hellbore.
not Hellborn.
Yeah.
Hellbore Outpost, the new map for MechWarrior Online, released December. Okay, first question: how often have you guys been able to play this map?
None.
No, I haven't. I've been busy the last few weeks.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
it's only been out for a week, but I imagine, as always, it's just you have to roll the lottery, to see if you actually find the map, and that's always the issue with trying out these new ones.
Yep. So I wouldn't say I played a lot, but I did play a decent bit over all of my accounts, and I got the map exactly 2 times,
Wow.
which was very disappointing. And yeah, I then went in chat and of course asked why people weren't voting for it, and it seemed the overall sentiment in chat was pretty negative. The overall sentiment in the forums and my personal experience were quite positive though. So let's talk a bit about the actual map Hellbow Spring. So if you guys haven't really played it, I mean,
What
you
I
can
did,
show the pictures.
the best way to see how the map plays is somewhat. I just went onto YouTube and searched for the map's name in MWO, because that
Yeah.
way you can just check out a whole bunch of maps. You can see a whole bunch of matches very quickly and see how a regular player would play it. Though of course there's always the provision that the people who upload their footage is always going to be people who do fairly well, and it's always going to be it's early days. People haven't figured out where the PowerPoints are or how to really play the map.
The PowerPoints.
Though yeah, my first impressions, actually getting, I have zoomed around the map and stuff in game, just at least in testing grounds, because I don't want to go through the lottery system. I just, it feels like, it feels quite in tune with most of how they've been doing the maps recently. Like it's a big old jungle gym design.
The jungle
With
gym design.
just ramps, slopes, and
Yeah.
cover
Yeah.
and stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nightmare to navigate in a way. It's just like there's no there are those structures that make obvious points that you can like when I get used to it, I can probably remember where I am relative to the big structures, but it's really hard to just sort of figure out where you are, particularly like from the mini map and stuff. So you usually just, from what I see, you have to just pick a path and take, just go up the winding roads. It's kind of, I don't know, it's like Wales Simulator. If Wales was more jaggedy with very harsh cover.
It
Interesting.
in playing the faction warfare part of it though, it was like that. Generally, like you got your PowerPoints, you got your sniper positions, stuff like that. Once people do them, but it was still fun to play though. I mean, this looks interesting. I haven't played it yet though, to tell you the truth, but it looks pretty cool. It's beautiful, looks nice. That's one thing I definitely do like about it. It's just I gotta play it, type of thing. I haven't done anything like with it though.
You should.
But it looks beautiful. It does a nice. I think I watched BrioS play for about 10 minutes on it, and a lot of sniping, like on this one.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Huh.
So my experience was very different to that. First off, yes, it's a very beautiful map, and I definitely stared at trees for a couple of minutes before I joined the fight in my first match. It is very I think Jungle Gym is a really good way. I really love the fact that this map is very three-dimensional. It's not flat. There's a lot of verticality. There are multiple levels you have to get up, and I've seen a lot of criticism, both or mostly in-game, from
Mhm.
people saying there aren't enough ramps, and if you don't have jump jets, you're kind of just getting stuck. Yeah, I can see that. It's important to pick a path, go up, and stay up for as long as you can, and only drop down when you kind of know where you are.
Yep.
For me personally, though, I like playing fast maps and mobile maps and harassing people and striking people, and I had a blast every time I played this map. This is perfectly for my playstyle. There are so many canyons and tunnels and rounds and small ramps in the back and places you can jump jet up, but only barely. And people are getting confused in the early days, and I had so much fun on this map. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, there's the long-term question is in my head, and that's always that, how well will people be able to cover all the various angles and cut down on your movement? Because right now,
Yeah.
nobody knows that there's that little tunnel that you could use to, get behind them, or to jump up. You could jump up from this position or whatnot. But yeah, with enough experience and time, we'll be able to tell. But yeah, from my experience, what I've seen is it doesn't actually devolve a lot into snipers. This is nothing like Polar
Yes.
Highlands, old
Mhm.
Polar Highlands or anything like that. It's there's a lot of brawling going on because at least in these early stages, players are just sort of choosing ramps and just spontaneously waddling into one another. And the thing as well is that it's really awkward, like choosing another route, or if you want to divert, you have to double back and then choose a different route. So when people sort of push up and push into one another, it's kind of like it almost often feels like trench warfare, like World War I
Mm,
trench warfare in the jungle gym above you. um, so yeah, it's a quite. I've seen a lot of brawling on this map, or mid range, like close to mid range trading. Just
Mhm.
people spontaneously poking out. The one little criticism I have with the map, so to speak, is a lot of the cover is very harsh. Like it's just either you're in cover or you're not. So you're when you expose to a lot of angles, and that
yeah.
can lead at higher tiers. I imagine when people learn the map, um, if you expose on the ramp, you're exposing yourself to like 6 or 7 different positions, and if you get spotted on radar, you can pretty much guarantee all those people will peek and shoot you. So ECM, at least on these early stages in the jungle gym, is really valuable on this map because it allows you to freely trade and poke and harass without anyone knowing what you're doing. That's so yeah, it's an interesting map. I just feel it's a good culmination of sort of what we've seen thus far with the whole like just the random items scattered all over the place kind of feel of the maps. For me on the aesthetic side, it's very it's sort of very colorful, but it's for me it's a lot of vomity kind of original OC kind of colors. It's not my personal jam for colors, and the thing as well, at least in terms of color palette, is I much prefer maps that use the colors to help people figure out their way around the map. With the purple, just like the grass spread all over the place, it makes it kind of hard to read the topography of the land a little bit. It's just the ground is so colorful compared to the mechs and everything else. Um, it's just usually what you sort of want to do is have like a prominent mountain or feature or something that everybody can quickly look to and see. Whereas here, there's no one feature that really draws your attention. There's not too many landmarks other than those big structures, and those are a very muted gray color. They don't stand out, even though they're the one part of the map that is unique.
Why do they actually have the structures there? Like, what's the purpose on them? Like, like HPG, exactly it's a HPG. Have your pulse generator that you're there, but why is that even there? Understand?
I
It,
don't know the laws, but
yeah.
there's at least you can excuse anything there geothermal. There's some industry or something going on. From a
Deep
gameplay
mining.
perspective, they operate as great, or they give easy excuses to have levels above players without having large giant ramps or caves all the
I
time.
want to know the lore on that. I want to know the lore of why that structure is there. What? Sorry. Go on.
Okay, but
It is
I'll write
also
up some That's very
It
good.
is called Hellbore Outpost.
Yeah, I know.
So, well, you need some structures if it's going to be an
Oh,
outpost.
put little buildings there or something, man. Outposts.
There are little buildings as well,
Little
but
buildings.
those
Little tiny
big
ones.
central buildings.
You that, tiny, tiny stuff. I don't
I
know.
don't want tiny buildings, just the ones that are only like knee height, because those provide no cover. Just on my point about the very harsh cover, where you're uncover or you're not, it's like my preferred style of play was always more Caustic Valley-esque, where you
Hmm.
had rolling hills. The nice thing with rolling hills is that whether you're fast or slow, you usually know that you can actually walk up and down the slope.
Yeah.
And you can very quickly and easily choose your positioning and maneuver around the battlefield. With Hellbore Outpost, you have a lot more clutter that's going to stop you, and
Hmm.
you have to pick just the right approach. And the ramps are usually only one or 1.5 mechs wide or so. So it's just for me as a fast mover, it's hard to shoot the opponent, who's on my right, whilst also choosing the right path to move into the next piece of cover.
Yeah.
Whereas on a rolling hill, I don't need to do that. It's a hill. I just need to remember in my head the topography. Whereas here, it's a lot more cluttered in my head.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
I I still like it to have at least some of these really cluttered maps. Like if you look at
Hmm.
Caustic Valley in particular, where they kind of just took away all the defining features. At least this map has a lot of interesting nooks and crannies, and yeah, I really just enjoyed zooming around. One
Yeah.
thing I did find interesting is in all of my matches, well, my very few matches to be fair, no one fought at or over the structure. Everything was happening to the side, and that surprised me a lot. Oh, and probably my most the memory that really stuck in my head about this map was on again on my very first match. We had an execution on our side who jump jetted over one of the canyons, and of course he got blasted once he landed on the other side. But he got blasted from our position as well. And
Yeah.
because the map is so incredibly cluttered, there were enemy mechs basically right next to us, and we didn't know because they didn't have ECM. We didn't have seismic sensor, so we didn't know we were there. It just kind of there was fire coming from directly from our position towards our own mech. I'm like, that confused me for a while.
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunities for pandemonium because
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's sort of what we discussed a little bit before, just the whole before the maps were very open and it allowed teams to move as one big unit, and there's a lot of chance for quote unquote team play, which means blobbing up and crushing the enemy team in a NASCAR. This is very much trying to be antithetical to that, where everyone has to pick a single lane and go through it, and there's this a lot of scattered action all over the map, and it's very hard to cover all your angles, and that, at least when people learn how the map flows, can result in the whole map locking up. But right now, yeah. What modes did you play, Ian? Because I've seen, like, for example, on Conquest, one of the cap points is under one of the bases. So obviously
Yeah.
there's a bunch of mechs that move to that cap point.
I played Skirmish and Domination. I did not play any of the other modes.
Yeah.
And one
Where's
thing
the
I only read
domination
afterwards
area?
that I didn't pay attention to in the middle of. Okay, so I didn't pay attention to the domination thing at all, and apparently the map doesn't show you the domination area on the minimap,
What? Oh dear.
but because it's uh, so yellow you can see it. I don't know. I'll be honest, I
Yep.
didn't notice it in my game, and I did not pay attention to domination area at all, so I can't comment on that. So I
So
don't know
unreadable.
nothing about game modes effectively.
The minimap is kind of interesting. You can't tell where anything is. Sort of, it's just sort of there's a porridge on the bottom of the screen, and you
Mm,
just use the relative position of allies and enemies to tell. Oh, okay, there's
yeah,
somebody over there somewhere.
kinda.
Um, yeah, I would imagine the domination point is that central smokestacks kind of structure. That's sort of in the middle-ish area of the map, I think. And that is a good place to fight around, or at least I've seen some interesting engagements around there. So yeah, what is our final thoughts on the map? Is it a thumbs up, thumbs down, unsure?
I'm probably gonna go with unsure because I haven't played it yet. So
Yeah.
I like how it looks. Looks beautiful. To to you it's vomit purple, but I think it looks beautiful as far as like aesthetics, what it looks like. But plus I want to know the lore of the buildings. Know that too. So, but it.
Yeah, one thing is at least the purple floor does help actually. If you're high up and you're aiming down at people, they aren't silhouetted because they're on the more
Yes.
colorful floor at times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, it's counteracting sniping. Yeah, I have mixed feelings at the moment. I don't have a huge amount of experience with the map, of course, and it needs time to really pan out to see how people find out how to play on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a point I've made about the map design in the past is all the maps feel quite samey, and this, in some ways, is actually kind of a brawly map. And
Hmm.
I like that in the ways that is more variety. That's what I want. That if people want a brawly map, or you have to take a build that's prepared to engage on this kind of map. It's just always the tricky thing is if the majority of maps are kind of open and you want a mid-range poke build, then when you get this, you aren't really well optimized for it, and you want jump jets, but you can't prepare for it. It's always the issue with MWO that uh, you cannot. You're in quick play. You just have to make do with whatever teammates, whatever situation you're thrown into,
Mm.
and that's why I'm just sort of like it adds variety, but in some ways, if you're just pushing the whole game to be a monotone mid-range poke fest, um, this is throwing a fly in the ointment. I'm just very confused at the overall design decisions. And personally, at least, I'm not the biggest fan necessarily of jungle gyms. I don't always feel like I have the best control, and it's hard to instruct your teammates where to go and what to do. You can use grid coordinates, that sort of helps, but it's just players figuring out how to get to those grids or whether they even can get to those grids is another matter entirely. It's a map that doesn't very easily and quickly speak to its audience that hey, there's a central hill like in Grid Plexus, and you can run to the left of the hill, or the right of the hill, or anything like that. It's utter pandemonium.
Okay, so for me, again, I try to look at community feedback. Community seems somewhat torn right now. Personally, I really love the map. It feels very different. It speaks perfectly to my kind of playstyle right now. But as always with new maps, we'll probably take another look at it in January or early February once
Yeah.
we've had some time to play the map. The game had some time to stabilize, and we'll give another opinion. Right now, I'm gonna give it probably mostly thumbs up.
It,
It's not my favorite map, but
yeah,
it's definitely up there, and I had a lot of fun on it.
I think it's not a thumbs down for me. It's neutral thumbs up. So yeah, very much in agreement on that.
Yeah. I think
Right.
next we have the Russian servers where they come
No,
and.
there's just
Never mind. Just kidding.
Uh, there's the it came along with the patch, which of course has
Yes.
our usual whole bunch of bits and pieces changed. Clan ER large lasers, they've reverted the heat changes, which is good because those are getting a bit crazy with all the long range poking and stuff. Single heat sinks, that was an interesting change, increasing their dissipation and capacity and stuff. So helping out single heat sink builds, because that's always been sort of an issue. And yeah, otherwise, there's a whole bunch of little changes here and there that, if you happen to like a particular mech and got a buff, is yeah, try it out. I think like there's a Jenna with 4 light PPCs you can do. The machine gun javelin is getting a whole bunch of ammo and machine gun rate of fire, so it's actually half decent at machine gunning more.
It is. It
Hellbringers,
killed me earlier today.
yeah, and the Hellbringer I mentioned is getting a bunch of survival, I think, at least on the arms and things, to complement, I think, the torso survival it had before. So yeah,
Yep.
Hellbringers are actually getting quite tanky now.
Helping us up. Maybe a bit too strong in my opinion.
Yeah. Quick draws. This one is nice in a way. So all quick draws are getting IV4 survival. Which was always an odd discrepancy in that should have been ironed out a long time ago. IV4, of course, before MRMs had really awful, awkward hardpoints, to say the least. So the best you could kind of do is like SRM brawler or like 2 LB10s or something. So the IV4 was given tons of survival, but then MRMs came out and you could do MRM 80, MRM 60. So it didn't really need the survival, revenge and desync, blah blah blah. So basically, yeah, all quick draws are now nice and tanky, which is kind of fitting since they aren't necessarily the best poking mechs and the best hardpoints in the first place.
Yep.
Jaegers, 2AC20 Jaeger is another big one. The Jaeger Mech
Yep.
6A.
The heat scale limit and the ballistic cooldown for AC20s. Well, all ballistics, but
All
AC20 in
ballistics,
particular
yeah.
in this one. For Jaggermechs, everyone keep in mind if you have Jaggermechs, your loadouts are going to be invalid because they played around with the armor boost values again. I had to adjust all of mine. Just lower your armor like 10 points, put it back up, and your loadout is going to be valid again. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. Good. That rebalancing was so weird. Just do quirks. And yeah, I haven't been bothered to read all the things on the summoners. I just use the 2 high mounted PPCs and call it a day. And yeah, Mean Baby, along with things like that one's getting an extra 10% heat gen on its MRMs, so 20% total heat gen on MRM, which is pretty neat.
Yep.
Yeah, just lots of little 10% here or there, little rebalances as usual.
Alright then, so that's it for the December patch. Overall, I think pretty positive patch. I think the reception has been quite positive. Even in the MechWarrior Online forums, I haven't seen that many negative points, which is very different from how the MechWarrior Online forums usually are. So, good on you, MechWarrior Online community, I guess. But yeah, moving on to one final thing that took me completely by surprise. There was a random post on the MechWarrior Online site about something called 4Game and MechWarrior Online pre-order and beta, and I was like, what, MechWarrior Online beta? MechWarrior Online pre-order? What? Did I completely miss anything? And apparently, MechWarrior Online is now getting Russian servers with their own dedicated server infrastructure. It's gonna be a dedicated region that all players can select in game, the way they can select NA, EU, and the other one. If you're in the Russian area, it sounds like you have to use the 4Game client, which is a Russian game client, and you can only buy things through that particular client rather than using the MechWarrior Online site, which sounds very interesting. And I have no idea what's going on in the background there to make that possible business-wise. But yeah, more server infrastructure, Russian localization, language, and hopefully a lot more players. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
And if you're not in the Russian area, then this probably won't affect you at all.
Yeah. Community moderation is a pertinent question in my head. Who moderates the community? Is it a separate company is handling all of this extra stuff, or is it just they're using something akin to Steam?
All right, let's take a look. So, okay, the Russian and CIS region is gonna sign up and install via the 4Game client or website and make purchases on the 4Game client and website. Besides that, they're using the normal MechWarrior Online platform. So like game client, content, player account, friends list, etc. is all gonna be the normal MechWarrior Online stuff. So I would assume that's all just PGI still moderating. It's only for
Yeah.
install and purchasing. So yeah,
Yeah.
not a negative thing. I find it interesting that they are doing it as a closed beta.
Yes.
I wouldn't have expected to be that much demand that you would have to close a beta.
So yeah, this is just pure speculation on my part because I am not familiar at all with the Russian, gaming scene or anything like that. But I imagine what's going on here is, you instead of them handling all the laws and regulations of an entire different country, because Russia, of course, runs by its own rules, so to speak. because also they probably don't have many Russian speakers and stuff. It's best that they do it through 4Game or something like that. That you want to have you want to talk through somebody like 4Game or something like that, and that's why they're doing all this. I honestly have no clue, but that would be my speculation. Is that
Yep.
there's some hoops you have to jump through operating in a different region, and for
Yep.
that they're using 4Game.
I think that's a good assumption, especially looking at countries like China. If you want to do anything in China that requires some kind of personal information, that information has to be stored on a server physically located within the boundaries of China.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Russia has a similar rule. I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with Russian internet laws, but yeah,
Yeah,
I think
this is
that's a
very
safe
much
guess.
outside my ballpark, but it's a
Yeah.
really reasonably safe guess that the only reason you can buy things through 4Game is because that way you're always within the bounds of Russian law. That if you allowed people to buy it through Steam or the MWO website, which they say 4Game accounts can't do, then you have to make your systems applicable for the whole world plus Russia, and that can
Mhm.
get very messy legally very quickly. So it's best to have their own slightly walled garden.
Yeah, this makes me kind of wonder if MechWarrior Online is even available in China, because in China, I know China has very different and special rules about a lot of things.
Yeah,
Obviously, I don't think China has a large audience for the MechWarrior franchise as a whole.
yeah,
But kind of want to look into that. Interesting
yeah. If
question.
they ever want to get in the China market, they might also do something similar. Yeah,
They would have to,
yeah,
because yeah, again, sign-in information, billing information, all that things that you need to sell things. You can't have that outside of China, so you would need a partner company there. But yeah, what I did find interesting that I wanted to draw attention to real quick. Did you guys take a look at the prices
No,
for these
no,
packs?
first time I've seen them.
So yeah, to give you context, 2,000 Russian rubles are 25 euro, or, yeah, 24 euro, 25, 26 US dollars. So you're getting a lot of stuff for $20 if you pre-order the game. So that's what I found interesting.
yeah.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mechs, 4 of which are hero mechs
Mm-hmm.
for $25. That's a
That's
really good
not
package
bad. No.
Yeah.
with 3,000 MC. Yeah.
The GDP per capita isn't so good in Russia, I imagine. So obviously you can't charge as
Mm.
much for Western audiences. The first thought. Next up is um, you are buying into a game that's a decade old almost at this point and very late into its cycle with
Yeah.
only a small player base. So if you want people to stick around, you have to offer them a good deal. At least that would be the logic I would use.
Yeah. However, to that argument, take a look at what McRonan is selling their current stuff to. Like, we're getting for 20-ish euro, we're getting 2 hero mechs at most, and not 8 mechs,
Yeah.
and a bunch of extra stuff. So it's I mean, it's a sort of pre-order. Again, you're buying into a closed beta. They're doing a beta because separate infrastructure and they have to test it. Again, I don't know why it's closed and why they wouldn't just make it open, but yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
just
still a
obviously
really
though.
good deal.
Yeah, it's just Europeans and Americans are going to have so much more disposable income, usually on average. It would be my guess. And just for whatever reason, that they have always been able to make a lot of money. People are very big fans of the franchise. But in Russia, I'm not sure there's that dedicated BattleTech fandom so much. I don't know if there's a larger number of people who like buying the models or anything like that. Like if you think Catalyst Games, do they do anything in Russia? Do they translate their books into Russian? Do they, with the big Kickstarter, did they do anything for that?
Yes, I don't know if they did anything Russia specific, but I have seen a lot of comments on the Kickstarter from people from Russia. So there's definitely a community there.
Yeah,
But the thing again with Russia and China is like those big, more eastern located countries is very they have very separated communities from most of the Western countries, and it's kind of
yeah.
difficult to get a glimpse into those communities, which is
hmm
kind of disappointing. I would like to interact more with those people.
Yeah, but my thought process would just be my assumption going in is that um, there's a dedicated fandom in places like Germany and America and stuff like that. There's more people who've got into BattleTech and stuff like that in the West, but in places like Russia and China, it's a relatively unknown name, and so therefore you can't rely on just people being such big fans of the game and this being the only online experience for BattleTech that they have available. Like if they're that dedicated, they probably have been using VPN this whole time or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, so
Yeah,
that's our last news topic for the day. Again, only popped up on my radar because there was a clarification for the FAQ. So if you see the words pre-order on MechWarrior Online, it is not MechWarrior Online 2, it's just a pre-order to buy into the new Russian server infrastructure.
Yeah, we have to wait and see really how many players are actually drawn into the Russian servers. Only time will tell how much will there be Russian in comms if you choose a Russian Russian servers as one of the ones you go into.
Yes, that is the main thing I'm going to be interested in because Russians are kind of notorious for not speaking English
Yeah.
in any game. It's kind of like the French, but even worse.
Yeah, the only other thing in the future for us is sort of I'm interested about whether there's any ways you can, like there's Steam charts where you could tell how many users have tried for game at all, because we'll have no real way to find out how large this community is that are playing, with what they're setting up here. It's something for us to research, but yeah, I'd be curious if there's a way to find out. Yeah, that's mostly the news. There's one tiny last piece of news, which is the Predator pack. They showed off the hardpoints. Predator pack preview with Mark Nicholson. So it just shows you, oh hey, it's Blood Ass with 2 missiles on each arm, and you have the Shadow Cat with its 2 energy and 2 ballistic side torso and stuff.
It's the first time I'm looking at this picture and like these giant arms for those 3 tiny missile tubes. It's hilarious.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
It's a shame the Blood designers, they first put the missile hardpoint in the lower arm where it's going to shoot the dirt, and then they put it in the nice high shoulder mount. Though I'm not sure how big that shoulder gets if you put like a LRM 20 in it or something. Anyway, yep, those are some hardpoints, all right. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed how they would have looked without their help.
Oh no.
Okay. Is that it for everything?
Yeah.
And it is
That's
indeed. Bob, take us out.
So I want to say thank you everybody for a great year actually, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from everyone from the First Circuit podcast. We've had a great time this year with special guests, as you guys know, down below. But yeah, it was a fun year. It was a very fun year, and the podcast has actually grown a lot actually with hosts and watching and everything. So I just want to say thank you very much, and thank you for your support and everything else, and watching and spreading the news and all that kind of stuff. And from all of us, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yep, seconding all of that. And as always, if you guys have feedback for us, anything you want to see or hear do different, or if you have any guests you want to see on a podcast, please go ahead and comment, contact us on Twitter, anything. We're doing this, well, we're doing it mostly because we enjoy doing it, but we're also doing this for you. So anything we can do to make this better for you, please tell us.
Exactly. Better?
Yeah, there's not too much to add. Yeah, Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, and stuff. Yeah. Bye-bye, guys.
From all us as First Circuit Podcast, see you guys later, and thank you very much.
And stay safe.
Yeah.
Parties
safe.
are dangerous.
Yes, have fun.